Reparations. Say no to reparations. Why would anyone in his or her right senses say no to trillions of potential dollars and pounds in reparations? But what is the definition of reparations? And who is defining it? Unfortunately, it is being defined by the same people that were engaged in the desire for us to have reparations. They tell us that reparations are something that one does or gives to correct a mistake. And they also say that reparations are usually made by governments to make amends for wars and serious crimes and abuse. Also, they are a sort of compensation for free labor which was rendered during 250 years of slavery in America. In isiZulu is ukupindisela, in Igbo is Mubu, and the Lefa Mokoloto in Soto. The word reparations also comes from repair and the Latin reperire, or making new again, and also is similar to chikaranga, meaning kuripa. Also, restitution comes in wherever possible, in other words, restoring the individual to their position before gross violation. But you can see that it is very impossible to satisfy. Despite all that, why would anyone still continue to say no to trillions of potential dollars and the pounds in reparations? Because there are questions that comes, like, who would receive reparations? How will current pain points be compensated for? What makes us exclusive and different than everybody else? More important, compensation would provide for physical and mental harm, for lost opportunities, for material damages, for moral damages, for costs, rehabilitation, and also guaranteeing that no repetition of such activities again will occur. You can go to this website and still read some more and review a lot of more information, which is also legal and very, very interesting. But despite all that, we still continue to say no. Most advocates of reparations ignore other recipients like white Arab Islamic nations. There was no Middle East. It was created we're engaged in slave trade. And we must remove the idea that they are somehow not to be involved in reparations. We should campaign, enlighten, and teach as many people about it as possible. There is the map about their involvement in slavery all across, right from West Sudan, Ghana, right to Mozambique, Quelimane, Sofala. They were engaged. An Arab slave trade in East Africa, 1888, the death toll from 14th century of Muslim slave trade, the death toll alone in Africa is estimated to be 112 million people and souls, because this occurred for over 600 years and is still occurring. So let's not dilly-dally about the figures. I've seen some people trying to play fun with the figures. Today it's still continuing. Al Jazeera here carries the report that they are selling Africans in Libya as slaves, harvesting organs, exploiting our sisters and brothers in many ways that cannot be described on YouTube, on many other palatable platforms. Jean-Marie Dia, one of our colleagues in Congo, who wrote a book, Arab Muslim World, Architect of Slavery in Africa. Get this book from Amazon and read it. He said the reason why he wrote this book was that he wanted to enlighten people of the historic role the Arab Muslim world played and continues to play in slavery, and that much of the population condemned Europeans and the Americans, white Americans and white Europeans, for slavery in Africa, and think that it occurred, it was started by them. Not so. Read his book to find more evidence. Do you know that black slavery is the one that built this current world civilization? And demanding some tokens from only the United States Federal Reserve is just like asking for that little piece of bread that an ant is carrying away under the table. To the tough answers now. Why would anyone in his or her right senses say no to trillions of potential dollars and pounds in reparations? because they are awake and they subscribe to certain political, money and banking, true history and spirituality nuances. They know something. What is it which they know? The question is, who should pay reparations? Where could the money come from? Generally, the advocates tell us that the government, private companies, as well as rich families must pay. It makes sense that the federal and state governments all over the world supported the institution of slavery, and private businesses, as well as rich families, must pay reparations. But still, we say no to reparations. Why? The other people that must pay are African sellout kings and chiefs who were heavily involved in the beginning of slavery by Muslims as well as in Atlantic slave trade. They too may stand to gain if no real forensic audit is done prior to reparations. This is one big reason to say no to reparations now. African leadership failure. I hate to admit this. Peter Botha was right about black people not able to govern and rule themselves. You can read this his statement, which is on this Zambia watchdog site, and also Al Jazeera West Africa. This on this website, it carries the story and the report about Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, who said when an African becomes rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatment. Do you need any example there? He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome and Mecca. His children study in Europe. He travels to Canada, United States, Europe for tourism. If he die, he will be buried in his native country of Africa. Africa is just a cemetery for Africans. How would a cemetery be developed? You can't defend that. Imagine these people getting trillions of dollars for compensation for colonization. What would they do? They would bank it again back in Europe. Since the whole civilization owes Africans, and so far nothing has been identified as worthy or able to pay reparations, what then can we accept? Certain conditions must prevail. Top of the list is a repentance and admission of guilt by those that were engaged. Who has apologized? Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, rejected reparations for slavery. It would be hard to know whom to pay, but it's just hiding behind the finger. Yes, it's deeper, of course. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, all have not apologized for enslavement. So too all corporate organizations, shipping companies, the military industrial complex, rich families, countries like Portugal, Italy, Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, Britain have not even said one word to apologize for colonization as well as enslavement. China and India and Russia and Japan and other countries continue to exploit Africa, paying trinkets, not even helping us on colonization as well as enslavement reparations. Only Australia and New Zealand have paid something and opened up policies to compensate for all what they did. The others, no, they don't. No wonder why we still say no on reparations. The only leader we know so far who has apologized for enslavement is Gaddafi, who apologized on behalf of Arabs for their cruel treatment of Africans during the Arab slave trade. You can watch the video here on the website given there. So we salute Muammar Gaddafi for that. Despite all that, reparations, we still say no. Why do we say no? Back to our real problem. By now it is clear that the enslaver and colonizer will never pay reparations. If they were to try to do that, the financial system will collapse and all other systems in the world will collapse. Why? Because when you understand certain principles, you realize that the financial system in the realm of economics and the importance of slaves went beyond the wealth generated from their uncompensated labor. It helped fire up the modern financial system based on trading stocks, which was humans and our ancestors, as well as commodities which were taken for free from Africa and continues to be taken for free from Africa. They are not paying for anything, even oil, even gold. They are just taking it for free when you understand that money is just printed on a machine. So I print some money and I come to Africa and take gold. So what have I paid? Nothing, because I have printed money. So I just need a printing machine. So slavery was the flywheel on which America's market revolution turned. Not just in the United States, but all over the earth. The financial system is the god of the earth today. To demand reparations implies that we may, at the end of the day, if we put enough pressure, just get printed notes. But what it really means, if it is to be implemented, is that we must destroy the system that was built on the back of black slaves, for we cannot keep it alive because it is a blood sucker. Who owns this system is the rich family, one of the richest families. They own the global financial system, which is the interplay of financial companies, the regulations, as well as the institutions operating at an international level. So they own the earth. They own everything. They own the system. So that is the crux where our desire for reparations must hit. If we hit anything else, we are missing the mark. At the end of the day, the reasons to say no to reparations given here are mere guidelines. Our involvement in any campaign will not magically lend us any new advantages. We still have to work at it. We still have to grind harder and beyond those who establish the financial system and any other powerful system today, like the medical system, the military system, the intelligence and education system, and many other systems. We still have to make our lifetime count and dish out the victor's spirit and power to those who may outthink and outmaneuver the current systematic thinkers. We say, cheerio, welcome aboard. Our hopes are to enlighten, not discourage, to increase our possibility of taking a commanding position and own the table, to be diners, not waiters, or servants, or cooks, but if possible, equal partners who have gained respect, not given tokens. By working smarter, not harder, we will have a proven method that will be worthy. There are many professionals today teaching that we must get reparations. I assume it's money. Perhaps the Jewish model after World War II, or a similar strategy. I have read them all. I have watched plenty of videos, and I can confirm that we must receive reparations. But the sticky argument is on whose terms. You are only as successful as what motivates you and it drives you. Hopefully, you get something out of this and make a difference. Think about this and take your time to digest this. Subscribe to our channel, Community Buru Ethics. Join us at marifado.com. Siabonga, Tatenta, Henkos, Edupe. Thank you. No reparations unless there is repentance, forgiveness, as well as ability to reformulate the systems in the world that incorporates us as equal partners